Good morning. Today we are going to see about sensor and its types. Sensor is a device, it is an input device which provides output with respect to a specific physical quantity. So it is a device which convert physical changes into a specific physical quantity. Normally it must be in electrical form. So we can call it as sensor is a device which convert physical changes into an electrical quantity. There are multiple sensors which is available in the market, and those sensors are used for different applications. So we already heard some of the sensor names in the market. So like LDR, alcohol sensor, LM35, rain sensor, PIR sensor, IR sensor, ultrasonic sensor, soil moisture sensor, gyroscope, touch sensor, etc. etc. So what sensor can do? So sensor is a device that detect change in environment and respond to some output on the other system. So as I told, so it is a device which convert your physical quantity into an electrical quantity. Normally that electrical quantity is in analog form. So why we want to convert your physical quantity into electrical quantity? So when you want to process a signal, it must be in electrical form. A process in the sense when you want to store information, when you want to transmit the information, when you want to amplify the information, so it must be in electrical form. And another important thing, when you want to display uh, that particular information, it must be in electrical form. And when you take an embedded system, in that the microcontroller or microprocessor plays a vital role. So that is the core or heart of the embedded system. So the microcontroller or microprocessor can able to understand only an electrical signal. So it cannot understand a physical quantity like pressure, temperature, etc. etc. So when you want to process, as I told, what is process? When you want to amplify, when you want to store and retrieve, when you want to transmit, it must be in electrical form. So, so when you want to process a physical information, it means that temperature, pressure, text, image, anything. Okay, those kind of quantities are called physical quantity. So when you want to process those physical quantity, it must be in electrical form. Okay. So then only the processor, the core of the embedded system, the processor or control can able to understand that information. And now in this slide, you can see the types of sensor, different type of sensor. Thermocouple RTD thermistors, and those sensor can use can able to measure temperature. Next one is strain gauge. To measure the pressure, tension, weight, we are using a sensor called strain gauge. The next one is load cell. So when you want to measure weight or load anywhere, you have to use load cell. Load cell is also a sensor. The next one is LVDT, and a linear variable differential transformer, and these sensors are generally used to measure displacement and distance. Next one is accelerometer. When you want to measure vibration or shock anywhere, you have to use accelerometer. And many of them know this. Microphone. When you want to convert your sound signal into for electrical signal, you have to use microphone. And next one is a current transducer or current sensor, and this is useful to measure AC or DC current quantities. Next one is classification of sensors. We can classify the sensor based on the many parameter. We'll see one by one. The first one is active and passive sensor. Active sensor are those which require an external signal or power. So when you want to activate the signal sensor, if you need an external power or external excitation signal, that is called active sensor. And passive sensor do not require any external power supply to activate the sensor operation. Next, classification of sensor based on the detection and which quantity the sensor is able to detect. Based on that, we can we can classify the sensor. And the examples are electrical, biological, and chemical, radioactive, and those quantities can be converted into electrical quantity by using different kind of sensor. And next we can classify the sensor based on the conversion phenomenon and what kind of input and what kind of output we are getting. So based on those, we can classify the sensor. The next one is analog or digital sensor. So as I told, we can convert the physical quantity into electrical quantity. Sensor is a device which converts physical quantity into electrical quantity, and that electrical quantity normally in two forms. One is analog form and another one is digital form. And if the sensor can able to convert physical quantity into analog form, those sensors are called analog sensor. And if the sensors are converting physical quantity into digital form or digital signal, those sensors are called digital sensor.